knows that I'm late. What episode? Oh, not again, bro. Come on. Not this. camera's acting funny. I gotta clean something. I got some stuff to clean up in here because I've been really busy in here lately. Hopefully no one's seen that. That was embarrassing. Okay, hope everyone's doing well, by the way. Hoping everyone can hear me. Going to make a couple of adjustments here. Just ensure we're good on the volume side of things. Just a reminder, guys, if you could hit that like button, be a huge help. But we are here to cover the back half of Melissa, which is now down to category 1 at this point in time. We're not seeing quite as significant of impacts now. This is expected to re-strengthen after it passes through the Bahamas here. Then we'll see it make a close pass, or maybe even, yeah, at this point now it's a close pass for Bermuda. So we're going to review some data here and just kind of make some observations. We'll kind of go on from that point. Appreciate everybody already tuning into this point. I didn't realize the NWS page was still up. Let me get that off of there. There we go. Let me look at the latest satellite here. That's kind of odd why it's not letting me see the full picture of the hurricane. Can't lie. Okay, let me see if I can fix this somehow. Otherwise, we might have to improvise here. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, that is pretty weird. Shoot. Yeah, I don't know why we can't get that to show the full screen here. Let me see if I'm going about this the right way or not. Let's try full disk. There we go. That's a lot better. This is the way that I had it set up. I'm still kind of getting used to weather-wise with this new feature here, because typically when we look at the satellite imagery, we're looking more towards, usually when I'm clicking on a hurricane, I'm thinking, okay, it's just going to show that particular section with the hurricane, and that's going to be it. But there's a lot of stuff you have to customize on here. Nothing that's really their fault, just mine on that one. Have to take ownership on that, along with other things. But this is what we have going on right now. Obviously, Melissa is not quite what she used to be, thankfully. But again, we are expecting some re-strengthening, but I don't think this affects land as much anymore. It looks like it's going to end up staying off to the northwest of Bermuda at this time, which is great news. We don't want the storm near any more land at this point. And then we kind of go on from there. Hey, Angela. We just started not long ago. So, not much at the moment. I'm trying to get maybe the only webcam that I'm allowed to use here up. If I can get it to work even. Because I've been looking all throughout the day to see if there was any chance that I could use a webcam or a live view cam for Jamaica. And unfortunately, a few and far in between. And I think the one cam that I do have available is a little bit too far out of the way, too. That's the other thing. So it's really almost kind of a moot point to put that up. Everything's kind of stayed away from, well, you're actually looking at her right now. She's showing up right on the screen. It's a Category 1 hurricane, 90-mile-per-hour winds. Forward motion has increased dramatically. We're at a motion of about 16 miles an hour. Stark comparison to where we were when we had landfall occurring yesterday at about 4 or 5 miles an hour. So she's picked up the pace now. She's over the Bahamas at this point. And from there, I think she's going to be a fish storm from here on out once we pass over the Bahamas, which probably will be in the next 2 hours, maybe less. Because the center of circulation is still right about here. There's two islands right here that, or maybe 3 islands that the center is going to interact with. Well, yeah, that's because it's weakened. These storms, once they interact with land, they more often than not become a shell of their former selves, especially over Cuba. These storms especially don't like mountains. That's the other thing about it. You put these storms over some mountains, and they usually end up kind of tearing themselves apart, and that's exactly what happened with Cuba. It happened a bit with Jamaica, but there's much taller mountains in Cuba, about 7,000 feet in elevation. You have to forgive me for the yawns here and there because, well, I just got off work not too long ago. So I'm kind of feeling the effects from that, but still, I said I was going to stream. I'm trying to see if there's any cameras that I can find at all. Because the one camera that I was able to use, it's all the way over here in Nassau. And the thing with Nassau is there's nothing going on there. Hey, Renita. I wonder if Turks and Caicos has any cameras. There's not really quite as much over there even then. There's just maybe a couple squalls that are rolling in. Guess we'll just have to make do with that, I suppose. Let me see if I can adjust these feeds. There we go. There we go. You'll be able to see this in just a little bit here. Yep. There it is right above my head here. I'll make it a little smaller so it's easier for you guys to see. Make a couple adjustments there. Kind of snip that and that. So you get full focus. This is the Villa Renaissance cam from the Turks and Caicos Islands. Shout out to them, by the way. This obviously is not my feed. But we get a view of the storm from the eastern side, or what? Well, yeah, it's the eastern side. little earlier, these guys are probably getting smacked by possibly some squalls with tornado potential at this point. I wouldn't have been surprised if we even got to see some water spouts off this camera. Yeah, they do. That's typically how it is with tropical systems. It's quite a sight, to be honest. I've been lucky to cover a few of these on stream before, so there is that. I wish there was better sound. But the winds there are starting to die down because, as you can see, Turks and Caicos is over here. And, of course, the center circulation is here. So we're getting the weak little feeder bands and some remnant winds now at this point. So not quite as much to worry about. The one thing that does kind of suck right now, unfortunately, because I'm in full disc mode in order to see the storm, I can't really set this into a loop. So we're stuck with a still shot for right now. Oh, excuse me. I think I have another way to possibly get a better loop, but that might take a moment. Hey, Justin. Yeah, the winds are actually pretty weak at this point. The winds are definitely dying down. It's much busier earlier. Yeah, they're getting kind of a light breeze at this point, maybe about 15 miles an hour. They did have a tropical storm warning earlier, so they were at one point probably getting winds up to about 40. But obviously things have calmed down a bit. Still have to watch to the southern half of the island here for maybe a couple stronger squalls, but I wouldn't be all that concerned with it. All while in the meanwhile, I've been getting rained on today at work. But yeah, you can clearly see that this trough is starting to affect the storm now. The structure definitely indicates that. Okay, so let's see. What other cameras can we use here? I'm trying to see if I can find anything that would be closer to the center of the circulation here, because it still looks like there's some pretty good intensity going on there. Cloud tops are pretty tall over here, very cold as well. So there's still some pretty strong storms ongoing. I appreciate you even tuning in, Justin. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't anticipate this being a long stream. I probably might just stream for 1 or 2 hours and then kind of go from there. It's an interesting name. Okay, let's see. Is there any other cameras that I can use? Is there Calypso Beach? Is there... Yeah, I can't really... It doesn't look like there's a whole lot to work with here. And I'm not super familiar with the area either. So these other details like Calypso Beach, for example, I don't even have the slightest idea as to where that is. It's not it. And there's only so many of these that I can use because I can't even... Because the handful that I can look at, I don't think are in the path of the storm. And the other ones, they're kind of strict about usage, so there's that as well. It is a hassle. But we're going to try and make this work. Just a reminder, guys, if you haven't already, definitely would urge you to hit that like button if you could. Always helps the stream. Yeah, Turks and Caicos cams aren't going to be of much use here. This is a bit of a problem. That's an aerial tour. It's definitely not going to work. Yeah, so this camera does not work. Great. Yeah, options are very few here. Options are very, very few, clearly. Let me try Green Turtle K. This is going to be my last attempt, otherwise we're just going to have to work with what we got. I don't think there's any cameras over here. Everything seems to be a little bit further to the outside, towards maybe the northern islands. Not so much going on towards the southern islands. And that's out of those that do work. There's a lot of these that really don't. Yeah, this one's out of the way as well. Yeah, so I guess we're just stuck with what we got here with this one camera. Sorry, guys. Definitely trying. But yeah, this is over towards Turks and Caicos that we're looking at now. No dice further into the Bahamas themselves. The only other cameras that I have are way too far out. Like, there's not even that many clouds over towards Nassau. And then a lot of the other cameras actually don't even work right now. And the few that do, this is the only one that I can use where I wouldn't get in trouble for using it. Guess we'll try and run some music. If you guys have some questions, feel free to shoot. That's really the only thing I can offer right now, sadly. If there is music, if the music's too loud, of course, let me know. It looks like the clouds are starting to clear up over there, too. Over towards Villa. Appreciate you tuning in, Justin. Catch you later. Stream will probably be over by then. Doesn't really seem like I have a whole lot to work with here, sadly. I'm gonna see if I can find a better satellite image to work with here. Cause it's clear that we can't make that happen with weather-wise. So we're gonna make a couple of adjustments here. Here's a better look at Melissa. Whew, just and just in case, I just wanted to make sure anyone is aware of the latest, or if any, I'm just asking really, because I haven't really had a great chance to look at everything today. But what is the latest on reports coming out of Jamaica? I've seen a few. I'm surprised in particular that the flat bridge is standing, despite the flooding that occurred over there. But what I was going to say though was, if anyone would like to put me up to speed, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I'll take a look at socials here and kind of get an idea as to what's going on. Oh, wow. Okay, so I've been combing through social media, kind of get caught up on everything in regards to Melissa. So the records broken may now include strongest wind gust ever recorded in a hurricane, which is crazy. And also, of course, we know the other records. Fortunate news coming out of Haiti with the death toll there. But outside of that, you know, nothing's really changed out of Jamaica at this moment. I know we're still getting a really good scope of the damage. The damage that I have seen, though, has been unbelievable up to this point. I don't know how long we'll honestly hang out here. I might cut this stream short because, I mean, there's not really a whole lot going on here. You know, I wish I had some visuals to give you guys, but I really don't have anything at all. I think what I'll probably end up doing is I'll let it go maybe till the top of the hour. If you guys are gonna chat, then feel free. You don't have to, obviously. And maybe we'll start working on some videos for the next couple of days. We'll be kind of focusing our attention on the lower 48 from this point forward. Dang. That was pretty bad. Okay, so I found an interesting little tidbit of information regarding some Cuban impacts here. There were wind gusts up to 187 kilometers per hour. I'm trying to get a conversion. So that would be roughly Category 3 force. Because we would have to divide it by about 1.6 or 1.7. So if you were to half that, maybe just add by maybe about 30, I would say. Yeah, so about 100, yeah, just over 115 miles an hour though. Actually, it's alright, so the exact value is 116. But yeah, somewhere between 115 and 120 miles per hour, that is Category 3 strength. So some pretty significant impacts felt in Cuba today too. Like I said, or last night and into the morning. Wow, seeing more and more pictures. It's almost breathtaking. It's wild to think that we've seen. Man, it's crazy to think that we're really watching that we've watched such a historic storm over these last few days. So here's a statistic that I didn't know about. Is Melissa is only the 7th major hurricane to ever make landfall in eastern Cuba. East Cuba rarely gets landfalls in general, let alone major landfalls. The last one before Melissa was actually Matthew. Then before Matthew, we had Sandy. Then we got to go all the way back to 2008 with Ike. Then 2005 with Dennis, and then you almost have to go back to the 1960s. Jeez, man. I think we're going to end this stream at the top of the hour, just a little bit after. Over 40 in Haiti gone. Alright, folks. I'm sorry that the stream was a little bit of a snore. There's just really not anything I could do with this one, unfortunately. All you've seen me do is just basically look at satellite data. I'm not going to tie up any more of your time for tonight. Appreciate any of you that did tune in, showed support, but yeah, this one's kind of a flop, and I apologize. We'll have a regular video up tomorrow. We'll be talking about the weather over the lower 48, which I'm actually very excited to do because, geez, this storm has really been something. But with that being said, I appreciate you all being here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a wonderful night.